Hi. Okay, let me start again.
I want to bed.
Hi there. This is David. And you probably know nothing about me right now, but I want to talk to us about something that I think is very important for us. One of the big questions that I keep being asked, because I'm in a career that gets a lot of questions asked, and so somebody asked me, will marriage survive the 21st century? So, question is, will marriage survive the 21st century? And looking around at scenarios and things that are happening around us, it seems like, well, it's just like, ooh, if it was a graph, everyone would be like, it's probably pointing down straight for some people, it's probably taking a little curve for some, for some it's, it's leveling up, but then again it dips. And so we need to ask ourselves this question. And many times we look at marriage and say, you know what, it's the coming together of two people to form a family. But the question is, what really is at stake if marriage and family, as we've traditionally known it, fails in this 21st century? And so it's easy for us to say, well, we can still have children, we can still live our lives, we can still be single parents, we can still, go to the sperm bank and get, the premier seed given to the woman, and they get a premier child because, the donor was a genius, was a great actor, was a great musician. But what really is at stake for us? And I want to say a couple of things about it. One is, marriage is an institution that creates the only possible room where we can be able to nurture and raise the next generation. So we need to ask ourselves when we think about marriage, if it fails, then what happens to the raising of the next generation? And yes, I know people will say, well, I was brought up in this way and that way, and I didn't have my father, I didn't have my mother, I was an orphan, but I turned out well. But how many people would look back and say, I wish I had parents? And so it points back to an innate need in us to have this family unit intact for us to grow well and to live a fruitful life, for that matter. And even if everything else counts as success for us, this part of us still remains a pain, still remains a sore in our hearts. Why? Because deep within the DNA of a human being, family is fundamentally meant to have these components of a father, a mother, and the siblings, other siblings around you. And so we stand at risk of losing the only historically proven, God-given unit and sociologically acceptable place where marriage, where children can be raised in a healthy environment. Doesn't matter how great the children's home. We went to some children's home and they're amazing. They have got great opportunities for the children who grow in there. But it does not replace the importance of marriage, children, and family. Number two, if marriage fails, we're probably not going to have any society in the next few years, because the foundation of society is family. It's the first place where we get to learn how to be a social being. Somebody said, there are children who have been born and raised in the jungle, and they have grown up speaking nothing, but if it was among monkeys, they would learn how to communicate like a monkey. Somebody gave a story of, if you adopt a Chinese child, chances are that they will learn the language you are learning, not the language that they have been, the language of the nationality or the tribe that they have been sired in. And so however slit-eyed their eyes are, they will learn English, they will learn Swahili, or they will learn the language of the parents that nurture them. Why? Because we are nurtured into community. And so when family fails, then the nurture of people into humanity dies with it. And what happens after that? And we've seen this happen in some countries. In the US, where there's a large proportion of people who are, raised in single families, they say the majority of our prisoners come from homes where the father was missing. So we beg the question, how big a prison are we going to build for the next generation of young people raised without family, raised without parents? Number 3, the question is not so much, will marriage survive the 21st century, but rather, will the 21st century survive without marriage? You can look at the statistics and just see the decline where marriage and family begins to falter and fail. And you realize that what is at stake is not the institution of marriage, but humanity as we know it. And so I want to implore us and encourage us. And the reason why I want to share with us this is because I want us to...
Dad.
Yeah?
Do you know?
Where are you going?
These guys in the computer, they were talking about the blue thing, which I turned into color blue.
We may be ready to sacrifice marriage because, it's so tough, it's not the right person, or maybe, my children can survive better with me alone or with the other person alone. But the question is, are we ready to sacrifice marriage, or are we ready to sacrifice the entire social fabric that we call community, that we call the nation, that we call community?